Hello, my name is Andy Rodering. I'm the Bloomington Athletic Association softball commissioner, and this year the South Metro League has said that the coaches, when they arrive at the fields, will be responsible for chalking the fields. And we've got some new equipment here at St. Bonnie Fields in Bloomington, where most of certainly our squirts and intermediates are playing their games. And I wanted to show you what the equipment looks like and how to use it. So here's our equipment. First, we've got our chalk machine right here. It's a small one. You can find all this in the bin behind the field behind the fence on field 3. So we may have to walk from field to field to chalk all the fields, but there's one for all 4 fields here. There's the chalk machine. This is a 2-inch width chalk line that you're going to put down. Other equipment, we've got the bucket, the 5-gallon bucket of chalk. We've got a string and a couple of nails for defining the line from home base out to the outfield line. A hammer to help get the nails into the dirt, and if you needed to get it into the grass in the outfield. And finally, a small shovel to help get the bases on the Bolco pegs. There's new Bolco pegs here at St. Bonaventure, and to get the bases sitting correctly so that they're not wobbly, you need to dig around underneath the dirt to make sure that the base actually sinks down and goes to be level with the surrounding dirt. So let's get started. We're down here on the first baseline. You can see here we've got 2 of the caps for the Bolco bases. Every field has Bolcos measured at 2 different distances. There's here at 3 and 1. We've got it for our mites and mini mites level at 55 feet. And then up here, we've got the caps taken off. This is for our squirt level at 60 feet. The even ones at 2 and 4 have it at 60 feet for our squirts and 65 feet for the intermediates. So coaches, make sure you know the distance for your base distances. It's both on the back panel of your BAA rulebook for in-house program, and I think it's on the first or second page of the South Metro rulebook. So use that as a quick reference guide. So I want to show you the right and the wrong way of how this is going to look when we're done. All I've done is taken the caps off of these off the ground. So I'm going to be naively think that this is just going to work. So I'm going to do my best to line up the pegs with the covers. And you can see here, that's not going to work. It's very wobbly, so that's bad. Don't do that. So what we need to do here, all of the bins have shovels. We're going to have to dig out some space around each of the pegs to make sure that the bases can get in all the way as far down as it can. So we'll take the shovel it out. Try not to throw the dirt from one hole into the other hole. You'll be here all day. And then we'll try this again. There, I could probably even go down even further, but this is a lot closer than it was before. So the first step of chalking a field is to define one end of where the string is going to go. The one end behind home base goes right at the tip of the home base, and then we're going to walk the string all the way down to the grass on past first base. The idea of what we're trying to get here is we want the string line to be from home base all the way into the grass. The tricky part is we have a 2-inch chalk machine, which means that the foul line, the chalk line, is in bounds, and the white portion of the base is also in bounds. So at this step here, it's a little bit futzy if you're doing this by yourself, so having a friend is really useful. So Jake, my friend here, can stay here with the peg, and we need to go check where the chalk line is hitting on the base up at first base. So we have a 2-inch chalk line, and if we go right here, we're going to have part of this white part of the base is going to be too far that way. So we need to move the line this way a little bit so that you've got about 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on that side. So Yeah, I think that's pretty close, Jake. So the idea is to put, I'll try it that way a little bit more now. There you go. Yeah, let's try that. And then I like to also give it a good twang as well, just to see how it's going to fall. And actually now it's falling over here a little bit, so maybe we want to go that way a little bit more. Giving that twang helps, if it's caught on something, on the dirt or debris on the field, it'll loosen it up a little bit. So yeah, I think that's pretty close. So now we can get the chalk machine going and actually lay down the chalk. Now that we've got the line on the string line set up, we can take our 2-inch chalk machine here and our 5-gallon bucket of chalk. There should be enough chalk for all of the fields. And just kind of put some in. You don't want to stand downwind from that. It's not pleasant, but you're a softball coach. I'm sure it won't be that big a deal. One thing to be aware of are the controls up top here. When you have it flared to the left side, that's the closed position. And when you flare it to the other side, to the upright or to the right, that's the open position. With this particular chalk machine, there isn't really a good guideline. Some fancier chalk machines have little notches you can use to follow the string. This one doesn't have that, so you'll have to figure out what works for you. There is the footrest on the back. I'm going to try to use that. That's this piece right here, to try to use that as my guide. So we'll see how that goes. You do not want to start from the base itself, because you'll be right smack dab in the middle of the batter's box. So where you start doesn't really matter that much. I'd say like 5 feet away is probably a good guideline. So I'll just pick it up and put it around here. Now that I've got it on where I want it to go, I'll flare it over to the right, which opens the door on the bottom, and I can start chalking. So with chalking fields, slow and steady is your friend. You don't want to have a drunken sailor where it's wobbling around. I think that's a technical term. So it's nice and steady. I am using the foot as my guide. I'm also just trying to keep the string in the middle of my chalk line. If it's not perfect in some spots, like right there, I think I wobbled a little bit. You can go over it again to straighten it out a little bit. Not doing a fantastic job on this one, but we are not looking for perfection here. So I'm going to actually back this up, try this again to straighten this out. So from here, open it up again and continue. And you get out into the field, into the grass, and we don't care anymore. One thing we want to take care of here is, as I was on here, the string line moved, and we do want to put a line all the way across the base here. So we'll take this out again, which means we may need to dig out our holes again, but I guess we'll find out. And you can see here the string moved a little bit, so I'm going to put this back into the middle of my line, line this up, and finish it off. And this would be a good time if you wanted to go over it again to straighten up, or if you were running low on chalk, to go ahead and do so. So now that we have our chalk laid down, we can pick up our string again, or just move it out of the way, and put down the base. So now that we have the first base line all done from home to the grass, we can pick up the string. I would suggest starting from the grass and just running it across to third base. You don't need to move the spike or the peg at home base. It's at the same spot, but just redo the same process on the third base side. The third base Bolcos are going to have the same problem where you have to dig around to make sure that they get flat and level, but you don't have to worry quite so much about the placement of the string, just because it's a little more obvious with the single base versus the double base that we use on first base. All right, so the game's over. We now have to remove the bases. Obviously that's going to happen after the second game if there's a double header, but it would happen after the first game for single games. There's a couple of points we need to make here. Pop the base off, and hopefully, since you've already dug this out, this cap should hopefully just slide right in, and you can just, lovely, work just like I had it in mind. One thing you're going to want to be careful about is the other one that you didn't look at is going to be right in line for either third base or first base. So when you're digging out the holes for putting in your base, you may want to look at this and see if it's elevated too far. It's first and foremost, we don't want kids tripping over it. So if you need to, you'll have to take out these, dig them out, and then put them down and make them as safe as you can get them. All right, thank you very much, and look forward to having a great softball season. Thank you.